Everyone, Frost Noel here. Another investment video. Today is all about flips. So I'm sure everybody heard what a flip is. It's essentially you buy a property, you fix it up, and you resell it for profit. So flips are a great way to lose money if you don't know your math. And it's really all about math. It's that simple. So a lot of people, a lot of clients I've heard of, they misunderstand or they kind of underestimate all the costs associated with a flip. So we're just going to outline today some of the various costs and go from there. So the first and foremost with the flip is your acquisition costs. So these are the costs associated with acquiring or purchasing the property. Legal fees, obviously you need a lawyer to help you with the transaction. Appraisal costs or inspection costs if you choose to do so. Your insurance costs, so CMHC and Genworth are mortgage insurers. If you are going high ratio mortgage, these will be considered acquisition costs because they are added in the total cost of at closing. And also your land transfer tax, something you can't avoid, is just part of the process. Marcus?
All right, so the second is rental expenses. The two obvious ones are material and labor, which are obviously important, but other things to consider as well. Costs for permits, designs, inspections, ESA, that sort of thing. If you need any, if you're doing anything like that. As well, one of the most important things is knowing your costs in advance. That's probably one of the biggest downfalls is not being able to stick to your budget. So it's important to know exactly what things are going to cost, and as well to leave room for some unexpected. Nothing usually ever goes as planned.
Just more on that point too. Yeah, this is the area where people usually make the biggest mistakes. So they underestimate how much work or how much cost is associated with the flip, and this is essentially where your profit comes from. So there's a lot more work, or there's hidden costs, hidden problems with the property. You can find yourself losing money pretty quickly. So, C, this is probably the area where everybody always forgets, and these are carrying costs because there is a time where you are the owner of the property. It's from buying. You don't just buy it and sell it in the same day. There's a time frame where you are carrying that property. These expenses are going to include your mortgage interest. We don't factor in the mortgage principal because that essentially is you're building your equity, so that's essentially irrelevant in this equation. Property tax, your utilities, if you're paying utilities, you usually are because it's not going to be rented. Water, and then your insurance costs. So these are dead costs, but they will factor into the total profit at the end of the day.
And the last thing is the disposition cost or sale cost. So basically legal fees obviously when you sell, commissions when you sell as well, which is something that some people may not consider when looking at the plan initially. Taxes as well, which you may want to speak to an accountant about. It can be viewed different ways depending on the circumstance. And lastly as well, mortgage penalties, so discharge fees or depending if you're breaking your mortgage early. So if you know that you're getting into a flip, it might be worthwhile before buying it to speak to a mortgage broker and have that kind of planned out.
And just actually more on these 2 points specifically. These are areas where, again, people always misunderstand the rules and the laws. So for taxes, what we're referring to is income taxes. Now, a lot of people always assume that every time you sell a property, it's capital gains factors in. However, CRA is very, very clear that if you're in the business of flipping homes to make profit, they will assume that any profit generated from a flip is a business income. So that is taxed at 100%, unlike a capital gains tax, which is taxed at 50%. And this can be substantial when you're looking at some tight margins. And a mortgage penalty, this can range into the thousands of dollars, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 I've seen. So that will really eat away at your profit. So as Marcus said, you really want to understand the fine print of the mortgage document prior to getting to a flip.
And plan in advance.
Exactly. So again, it's all about math. It is simple once you have all the numbers, but the crucial part is understanding the numbers. So again, thanks very much. Have a good day.